Hello, everybody. I'm Harvey Silverman, back for another edition of the NGCOA Golf Business Live Tech Talk. This is our sixth edition. We've previously covered things like lightning detection, cybersecurity. We've had a couple sessions on agronomy. We have a new one coming up on a new battery solution. But this one is the first we've had with a new sponsor. And it puts me back into the area that I'm probably most familiar with, the tee time space, which started for me 27 years ago when I went to work for EasyLinks. So very happy to introduce our new sponsor, NGCOA's new sponsor, a gentleman named Jake Gordon with a company called Noteefy, spelled Noteefy, but pronounced Noteefy. And we're going to talk a little bit about Jake, about his new tee time reservation solution. Jake, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Harvey.
It's good to see you. Good to have you. I've seen your technology. It's quite different than anything else that's come to market so far, but it's responding, as a couple others are trying to do, with the increased demand that started during COVID, and trying to help golfers better navigate the tee time reservation world, with more and more tee times finally getting online. I mean, it's been, like I said, 27 years since I went to work for EasyLinks, and nobody was online then. And there's still probably about half the courses, according to my friend Mike Dickoff, that still aren't online with tee times. But the majority of courses that golfers want to play are online, and they're finding it more and more difficult to get themselves the tee time that they want. So that's what you're bringing from what I see with Noteefy, and we want to find out a little bit more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that.
First, give us a little information on your background and how you decided to get into this tee time space.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm new to the golf world, but I've been in the technology world for a long time, and actually never picked up a golf club until maybe 2019. Of course, when I did, I fell hard in love, and got the bug like many others did. But before I became a full-time founder in the golf technology space, I was working in the corporate venture and technology world. So after school, actually, where as a background, I was a college wrestler, and, fell in love with the entrepreneurship and technology space. Right out of doing my master's, I went and joined Accenture, one of the largest technology consulting firms, and quickly joined on to the ventures team, where I was working with emerging startups, emerging technologies, and spending all my day trying to help big companies solve problems with emerging tech. And so that was my background and what I did every single day. And it wasn't until I fell in love with the game of golf that I brought that perspective of solving problems with technology to my newfound passion and love for golf. And that was my introduction to the game, first as just a participant and a player and a weekend warrior of every municipal course in Southern California I could possibly find. And specifically into the introduction into the technology world, I was the tee time booking guy for my group of 10 friends or so, all of whom love to play. And I'd spend every single Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with 9 tabs open. And, we had the 10 or so courses we'd all love to play. And my technique was I'd have 9 or 10 tabs. And all of the supply of those courses' tee times were just siloed onto their individual websites for various reasons. And I would just smash the refresh button on all of them and hope and pray that the golf gods shine down a weekend morning time. And eventually, I kind of had this awakening where I was like, this is kind of madness. This doesn't make a ton of sense that I'm spending an hour or two a week trying to find times to play when I'd have other things I'd like to be doing, and there might be an easier way to do this. I've used products like OpenTable, Resi, Google Flights, Expedia, many of which have kind of mastered the arts of supply and demand matching with technology. And so I kind of had this aha moment, which was, could there be some way to connect all of the course supply with my personalized demand, and then allow me to still book with the property and with the course? And so it'd be great if I had almost a personal assistant looking for the times and the places that I wanted to play. And it'd be great if I could continue to give the operators that business. So that was almost the initial aha moment, and it's been a journey since then as well.
And when did this all start?
So I think the initial aha of, hey, there may be something here in terms of building this technology was early 2022. So about a year and a half ago is where I first had this idea, and we've been in market now for over a year in terms of connecting golfers with operators.
Okay. So there are several other tee time vendors, I'll call them, trying to enter the market also. Of course, we've had Golf Now and Tee Off for years, which are golfer centric. And these others that I've seen are really after the golfer's eyes rather than the eyes of golf course operators. So tell us how Noteefy is different from the others that you're seeing entering the market.
Sure. Well, the initial thing I just described was my own personal experience anecdotally, right? I, the golfer, had a hard time getting a tee time and would prefer some mechanism of finding that time that's more automated. And, once I kind of had this idea, which the first one we brought to market was this personalized booking assistant that didn't book for you, but notified you when there was a tee time that was available. We built the technology that effectively snapped on or bolted on right into any course's existing tee sheet. And I began to talk to operators, right? I didn't believe that I could possibly bring something to market without being collaborative alongside owners, operators, and pros. And so the first thing I did is start talking to GMs and talking to multi-course operators and saying, hey, what do you think about this idea of automating supply and demand matching for your golfers and your course in real time? And one of the first thing I did is I called my favorite local GM, and he said, I love this idea. This is something, and I'll give him a shout out, Simi Hills Golf Course in Simi Hills, California. Brian Reed. Mm-hmm. I called Brian with the idea. I said, Brian, I love Simi Hills. I can never get a tee time. I'd love to automate this with technology. What do you think? He said, you build it, we'll buy it. And, let me know along your journey. And he was incredibly supportive, incredibly collaborative. And effectively, he was our first partner where we brought the technology to Simi Hills and enabled golfers to join the virtual waitlist, which meant they can put the days, times, and number of players, not only for this weekend, but indefinitely. And as soon as there was any availability on the tee sheet, whether it was a cancellation or times were released, anybody who wanted to play at Simi Hills would get a text message and say, hey, Harvey, a tee time was just released. Click here to book. You click our link and we redirect you right to the tee sheet POS. We're not doing any bookings on behalf of the golfers. We are not a tee sheet. What we are is a personalized booking assistant for your golf. And, early in our development, I started talking to some of the multi-course operators. And one of them said to me something that stuck with me for as long as we are lasting today. He said, you need to decide, are you a product for operators or are you a product for golfers? Because you can't be both. And my background in B2B enterprise software that's solving problems for big companies, B2B and solving problems for owner operators is the only thing I know. I'm not a consumer founder. So I decided, hey, we are an operator focused company, and I want to bring this technology to operators. And that was, we went from Brian at Simi to now working closely with some of the best operators and multi-course operators in the world and scaling everything from 9-hole daily fee properties to Stream Song, Sand Valley, and many, many, many courses in between, where our core functionality is allowing those golfers who want to play at those courses to get a real-time alert whenever their desired time's available.
Got it.
So that was long-winded, but hopefully gives you a little bit of context there.
It does, a lot of context. Thank you. Does your technology require integrations with T-sheets and POS systems?
So the way I describe our product to operators is it's snap-on, right? And what does that mean? That means that we augment whatever you're using today. So our technology makes effectively, there is no implementation. There is no ripping and replacing of your systems. We are like a layer on top of whatever you're already using today, which is very seamless. We pretty much can bolt on very quickly to a new course and allow your golfers to have this functionality, effectively in days without needing any sort of painful training, any ripping, replacing. Trust me, coming from Accenture, I am well aware of the pitfalls of a 2-year system integration and implementation that requires a lot of heartburn. And so with our system and our technology, and I'm very, very grateful. I have an incredible technology co-founder, Dathan Wong, who leads all of our product and tech work. And we wanted to make it easy. Like, if you think Noteefy, you should think easy, frictionless, snap on overnight effectively, and allow your golfers to never have to call the pro shop again effectively. That's part of our mission, is make it really easy to find tee times and make it really easy to fill those tee times, so that hopefully the golfer in the pro shops can stay off the phone and spend more time with customers while the utilization still goes way, way up.
Okay, so the short answer to my question about whether you need integrations with T-sheets and point of sale is no. However, the course does need to be able to either adjust or add something to their websites that displays your tee time assistant, correct?
Exactly. So we really want the course to be the star here. We don't put our branding really or our signage on your property. We want you to be the hero that allows your golfers to now have an automated assistant that's working for them 24/7. And so a good example, is Chambers Bay, which just rolled out our platform this past weekend. And Chambers Bay sent all of their golfers a notification and put it on their website that, hey, we have a new virtual booking assistant. And in the first weekend, 400 golfers signed up, which means that overnight, effectively, and many of these golfers set their searches for the rest of the year. So what that means is now there's immediate connection between golfers and that property, and nowhere on there did a golfer have to download something. Did they have to pay for anything? We want, you could go from awareness on Chambers Bay of their booking assistant to being effectively utilizing the technology in about a minute. It's that quick to go from awareness to usage.
So you've mentioned a few courses, Chambers Bay, you mentioned, I think, Sand Valley and Stream Song as well. Those are very high-end destination type courses, resort or daily fee courses. Tell us how Noteefy can be used at the more standard, I don't really care for the mom and pop label, but
Sure.
a lot of our members are individual owners running some very, very nice facilities, but aren't necessarily in the destination category of the types of courses that you mentioned. So how can Noteefy work for them?
Absolutely. So you remember the first course we ever had was Simi Hills Golf Course, which is a par 71, beautiful daily fee, municipal owned property by the city of Simi Valley.
Mhm.
And they are, the technology works exactly the same for Simi Hills as it does for those other properties I mentioned. Any public golf course that has some, that would rather their golfers be able to instantly connect to their tee sheet in real time and indefinitely rather than have to call, is a candidate to use the product. And it really doesn't matter what type of property you are. As I mentioned, we have a few 9-hole daily fee municipal owned properties in rural areas that are seeing value from the technology. At the most fundamental level, your golfers who are calling about tee time availability would get value from using something that could free up their time and free up your time.
Sure.
So I hope that answers your point. Really, it's across the spectrum. The resorts to 9-hole daily fees and everything in between we have in our portfolio today.
Do you see Noteefy possibly expanding into other areas where reservations are required, like for lessons or for simulators? A lot of our members have simulators that run in the wintertime. Actually, they run all year long, but they're they're busier in the wintertime. Or range bays with courses installing range technology, whether Top Tracer or TrackMan, that are trying to create a system so people can reserve the bays that they want to play in. Could Noteefy expand into those areas some point down the road?
Yes, 100%. We're thinking about really all elements of the golfer experience, the pro experience. If you think about a instructor who has cancellations, if you think about many different aspects of the hospitality industry, I think could benefit from something like this. And we're having thoughtful conversations with the operators. Like, we don't want to come in pretending that we know the answers. We want to listen, we want to learn, and we want to build around the exact problems that those operators have. So as we launch new products, specifically in other verticals and other aspects of golf, we don't build and then show and say, here's the big reveal, here's the surprise, what do you think? What we're doing is we're saying, let's sit down in the lab and tell me exactly what would solve your problem, what is your problem, and we can build the technology to be able to address those needs accordingly. So I think our number one priority is helping with the tee time booking challenges, helping operators drive more revenue with less effort and golfers find more tee times. But certainly our ambitions are larger in terms of helping make an impact.
Got it. Okay, thanks. That creates some possibilities that I know a lot of golf course operators are struggling with. Having finally gotten their arms around the whole tee time technology, but now seeing that there's other elements of their business that are difficult to manage without having some type of online tee time or tee time assistant, as you have. So you've signed on as an NGCOA sponsor, correct?
Yep.
Where can NGCOA members expect to see you next?
So we're going to be at the MCORE event, Multi-Course Operator and Resort Retreat, and we're going to try and be at every NGCOA event we possibly can. And the reason being is our technology and our company is aligned 100% with operators. And we want to make your lives easier. We want to drive more bookings, more rounds while delighting customers every step of the way. So you will certainly see us at as many NGCOA events as we possibly can. And, we're pretty accessible and constantly looking to partner with new courses and new operators to, help scale the solution here.
Sure. So MCORE's in a couple weeks in Monterey. I'll be down there and we'll see you there. I don't know that you've signed up yet, but I hope you do for TechCon, which everybody is October 10 and 11 in Las Vegas. Put that on your calendar as well, because we haven't had a technology conference since 2018. And it's been 5 years, and hey, just a couple things have changed. So we thought it's a good time to produce another one. And I think this one's going to be much bigger than the previous two that were successful in 17 and 18. So we'll see you there as well.
You'll definitely see us there.
We'll give you the last call on what you'd like to leave us with, Jake.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I think we wake up every day thinking, how can we use great technology and put it right in the operator's hands at scale? And we're just so excited to have the traction that we do, and so excited, to see the excitement on both the operator and golfer side. And so since we've kicked off here, we're fortunate we haven't had a glitch, we haven't had an issue, we haven't had a complaint. And knock on wood, I'm sure one's going to come in at some point. But my point here is we're waking up every day very excited and can't wait to see where the future comes.
Good. Thank you, Jake. We appreciate you being on with us, Golf Business Live, and we'll see you. I know I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and I think our members will get to know your face and see you and be able to talk with you over the next few events between TechCon and then probably Golf Business Conference in Orlando in January. So thanks, and good luck with this. As I said in my opening, I've been in this tee time, kind of studying this tee time space for 27 years, authoring Beware of Barter, and the effect that that's had has been more than I ever expected. But there was always that sense of, hey, there's still maybe something missing, and this COVID drive of demand is what's launched, I think, what you've produced and aimed, in my opinion, in the right direction, aimed at operators. So good luck with that, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Harvey. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. That's the July edition of Golf Business Live Tech Talk. I think this is something that if golf course operators are having the issues of more phone calls than ever because of the drive in demand and people not finding what they want on the website tee time reservation system, and calling to say, hey, is there something else you've got that maybe I'm missing? This might be an answer for you. So take care, everybody, and